I have a shooting disc on my L45. It hurts a lot when I sit for too long or stand. It's a load bearing structure. Lauren, you have a load bearing structure that's injured, right? It's going to hurt when you load bear. You're going to have limitations on that. The important thing that we have, whether you guys are struggling with driving for more than 10 minutes, walking for more than 5, maybe you can walk for 10 minutes, but 15 and a half minutes starts to become problematic. Maybe you're struggling sitting down at the desk for X period of time. Make a note of what that period of time is, and then progress with the rehab, and then look back and see how that duration changes. What happens, generally speaking, if you're going through these things correctly, you're doing your squats or your hip hinges, and you've gone from doing body weight squats holding onto your chair, right? You're doing like that, for example. Not a wheelie chair, because that wouldn't give you any support, right? But you're doing your squats, and then you progress on, and you're doing with 5 kilos. And then you progress on still, not over a few days, right? But every little, and we're doing the same squats with a 36 kilo or 80 pound weight. And you then notice that, oh, I can walk for longer. And often you don't even notice that. You're out there walking with your friend or family member and they go, hey, you're doing all right standing up. You haven't complained about your back once. And we've been walking for about 25 minutes, half an hour. Usually you would have complained about 15 times by now. Sounds like your back's doing better. And you go, oh, I guess it is. And often others will notice that first. But those things, all the symptoms that you guys have, the limitations that you have in your daily life, the things that drive you to be frustrated about your back pain, those get better as you progress through your rehab. I repeat, you progress through your rehab and then those things get better. Too many of you have the viewpoint that I need to wait for things to get better before I can do my rehab. You have to understand the one comes before the other, and too many people are putting the cart before the horse and not getting better because they're waiting for the symptoms to go away before they start rehab. We had a very good comment, and they said they just started the program, and I had a flare up. They were like, I had a flare up last week, and I had to bend down to pick up a flat screen TV, something like that. And it's like, you're worried about doing strengthening exercises, but you had to put the flat screen TV, which was like 35 pounds on the floor. We didn't think that was necessarily maybe a bit, those two beliefs are a bit incongruent, they're a bit in contradiction with one another. And like this happens all the time. There will be so many of you guys, if you just honestly took a step back and just evaluated, what do I do every day? And how many times in my daily life am I putting myself in vulnerable positions? And you're like, oh gosh, quite a few. And oh gosh, I pick up my toddler, and oh gosh, I put them in the car, but I'm worried about doing rehab. I can't hold those two competing beliefs. I need to get rid of one. I can actually do the rehab. I need to actually do the rehab because much of what you're doing, the flare-ups come from your daily life activities. Granted, they might come from exercises done incorrectly as well, but most of the flare-ups, drawing on experience here, most of the flare-ups that people have come from doing stuff out there in the real world, right? Rather than actually carefully controlled rehabilitation where you're 100% focused on what you're doing. So something to bear in mind as well.